Disclaimer before we head into the video proper. This video is going to be talking about Wastelanders, but only talking about stuff that's been included in the Inside the Vault articles, most importantly the Inside the Vault article that went up yesterday. The PTS servers are live, so if you applied for that and are on PC, do go and check and see if you're in. However, I will not be covering any stuff from the private test servers, because number one, the big one, it's under NDA, non-disclosure agreement, so nobody should be talking about that stuff. On that note, if you talk about the private test servers in the comments, your comment will be deleted. This is your warning. If you're also obviously trying to share information about the private test server in any way, you may be blocked from the comment section entirely. So don't talk about the private test server in the comment section. Simple as that. Also, I don't have a private test server thing. I wasn't one of the few that got in at the start, so I can't really talk about it with any proper information. Unfortunately, I've not had too much mentioned around the whole web so far, so I don't know much about the private test server anyway, which I'm very glad about, and hopefully it all stays that way. Anyway, on to the bulk of the video now. So yesterday, at the time this will come out, we got a new Inside the Vault article, and I'm just gonna get all excited and happy about it. That's right, this is kind of a Fallout 76 update/news video where I'm just gonna be happy and talk about good stuff that Bethesda are doing, /have done, /are working on. Yep, a positive Fallout 76 news video. If you enjoy positive Fallout 76 news videos, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel and give the video a like and stuff, because I'm not one of these people who's just gonna rag on everything. When good stuff happens, I want to be covering it. So, in this article, the big thing was them talking about the major Wastelanders factions. So they talk about two factions, the Settlers and the Raiders. I'm pretty sure we knew that from the original trailer for Wastelanders, but we get a bunch more information here. They do describe it as being a spoiler-free background on each, but there is obviously some information I'll be going over in this. If you do want to head into Wastelanders completely kind of blind, then this is the point you might want to stop watching, because I'm going to be talking about just the stuff that's in the article, but it's cool stuff. So it tells us that the Settlers and the Raiders are the two major factions we encounter as we quest around Appalachia, and there are obviously some smaller factions. We know about the Cult of the Mothmen, and I have a feeling that the Wayward, which is the bar, which we've seen a few times in the past, I feel like that might be a separate faction than the Settlers, because we see here that the Settlers have taken base at Spruce Knob, and we saw a few pictures earlier. I'll have a little slideshow of them up, and we get a couple of new ones now where it's Welcome to Foundation, and a couple of identical looking people walking past. They are so similar, so similar. They've even got the same armor, the same weapon, the same character model, it seems. Those are basically the same person we've got there. But yeah, we get this nice little image of it. Foundation looks really cool, like it is a badass fort they've built. But as for who these settlers are, they are led by Paige, the former head of a construction workers union in Washington, DC. And I say that with some emphasis, because I've got a Fallout 3 video coming out tomorrow, and Fallout 3 is set in Washington, so it's nice to have that kind of link between them all. That's cool, I like that. Yep, and they're described as hardworking and industrious, and are made up of people who know how to construct and run a city. So they're all going to be about rebuilding the wasteland, the thing which we kind of got told to do when we first jumped into the game, and then we made funny looking forts here and there, and that was about it. So these are the people who are actually going to rebuild the wasteland, and this seems really cool. So yeah, they've come from Washington DC, heard that Appalachia might be some sort of refuge in the wasteland. It's less nuked than everywhere else, even if it does have flying bats of death. So they've headed here, and their big base foundation is at Spruce Knob. And they're repurposing the building, so the big central tower has been repurposed, and they're building their own place. It's worth pointing out that where they're building is currently a workshop, so I'm kind of interested to see. I'm actually booting up my old Wastelanders images now, just in case there's anything I can glean as it pops into my mind, but I will be interested to see how workshops will change as this goes on, because yeah, there's still a circular image. I'll boot up the little Quest UI image I had on the video a couple of days ago, but if you look at Spruce Knob, the workshop marker has changed a little bit, and you see over on the left-hand side at the Charleston Junkyard, there's a standard, like, workshop marker in there, and just north above it by the energy power plant, I can't remember which one that is, that's another standard workshop. However, the one at Spruce Knob suddenly has, like, just a hand holding a hammer by the looks of it, which I'm guessing is a settler's marker. And you'll notice in the top left of this image, which I'm setting myself up for a bit of a tricky edit, but hopefully I'll be properly looking at that, you can see that there's a little raider icon. And I'm looking at it again, over more towards the middle, just north of the pile and ambush site, is a little Cult of the Mothman thing. So yeah, it looks like we might be losing a workshop potentially, or possibly some of the workshops might be integrated into the whole settlers, which is kind of cool. Obviously I don't know for certain, and there will be people on the private test servers who will have a better idea of this, but that's just me speculating somewhat. Now, obviously these are the constructy people, but we also have some other cool people who are the Raiders, which are a faction we know a lot about, because the main quest of Fallout 76 as it is, has you talk to Rose, and she teaches you about various Raider factions. And here we get a new image of the crashed satellite, which is already in-game, but the Raiders are going to spruce up once Wastelanders drop. And they talk in here that the Raiders are no strangers to Appalachia. At one time they even called it home, and after they caught wind that people were returning to the land they once claimed for themselves, the Raiders and their leader Meg, who we have seen before actually, decided to come back and put a stop to anyone who would dare snatch up their rightful territory. So these are going to be a lot of the same Raiders who we've already kind of encountered, like what they've left behind, and they're actually coming back to the world. So the people from Washington don't appear to be, at least mostly from Appalachia, whereas the Raiders are some of the people who survived the initial like Scorch Beast onslaught, and are now coming back now that it seems a bit safer and more people have shown up. And obviously you can hook up with this group rather than the settlers if you prefer, and it does even say right at the little end here, if you're looking to arrange an introduction to Meg and her gang, you will need to be crafty. So I'm hoping you can't just walk up and they'll be like, oh hey there random person who seems friendly, why don't you come talk to us, we're just Raiders. I hope you have to kind of like sneak in or intimidate your way in or something like that. That's going to be really cool. And yeah, they redubbed the Crash Space Station as Crater, that's what they call it. So we've got Foundation for the settlers and Crater for the Raiders. I like the fact that they're kind of central in terms of the x-axis of the map, but on complete other sides in terms of the y-axis. So it seems the settlers are going to be much further up north, or down south, sorry, and the Raiders are going to be more up north as their home bases. That's good. Having the two factions have a lot of distance just makes a bit of sense. If they were camped out right next to each other, it would feel a bit silly. But it does say at the end of this as well, yet there's completely revamped locations, as we see pictures of, new vendors to trade with, crafting areas, which has me back to thinking about the workshops and if they're changing, and lots of people to talk to. And the part I really like here, however, your interactions with those people will depend on your reputation with them and how they view you. I just like it. Yeah, and join us again next week for a look at the new reputation system coming for factions in Wastelanders. There's going to be a factions reputation system. Oh, I'm looking forward to talking about this, because reputation is cool. I've just been playing Fallout 3 recently, and I really like the karma system. I was enjoying that during the game, even though it wasn't having like huge consequences. It was just kind of nice to go back to having something like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the reputation system is like. There's a good chance I'll cover it in a video, so click the notification bell if you want to see that. Now on to a few little just news updates sorts of thing to go alongside that. Something I'm going to say now because otherwise I'll forget. Last chance for Twitch Prime loot. So if you're a Twitch Prime member, which I'm not, there are some free cosmetics, well free because you have to be a Twitch Prime member. If you link your Bethesda account and your Twitch accounts, you can claim the Prime loot before January 28th, so you've got 4 days left to do this. Basically, do it over the weekend or you miss it, and you get like an outfit, a photo mode frame, a paint job, and some sleeping bags, I think it is. So just that for all of you Twitch Prime members. If you didn't already know, there's some loot you can get. In terms of a PTS, They have confirmed, well, sort of confirmed the number of people. They've put, earlier this week we invited over 500 current Fallout 76 players to join us in the PTS. So there's a lot of people already in there, which explains why there's so many people saying, man, I want to talk about this, and then being told we can't talk about this. And it's only been going for a few days, but they're already looking to get more people in. So they've said, we are looking to expand on the current pool of playtesters. We are planning to send an additional round of invites to the Wastelanders PTS within the next couple of weeks. So probably before the end of January there'll be more invites. If you did apply, if you're a PC Fallout 76 player and you applied, do keep an eye on your email, just in case that happens. You can also check in the launcher by going under My Library and seeing if the PTS has popped up there. So that is all good stuff. And then finally, the kind of happy end to the hack problem, which happened just before Christmas. Yeah, I think it was, well, it says in an email here, December 20th. So it was about that time that the hack occurred. It was short-lived. I get every once in a while a person who pops into like the Discord going, is Fallout 76 safe to play or is the hack still happening? That hack lasted a number of hours. It was less than a day, I believe. Your inventory is relatively safe. I'm not going to say, oh, your inventory is perfectly safe, because you never know what the hackers are going to do, but the issue was fixed at the time, so everyone's kind of just been playing as normal, and I haven't seen anything like this happen since that one occasion. But for any of you who did get your inventory stolen during that brief time, good news. A user on Reddit, I'm going to find their name quickly, by you Jedediah Jedi, I think that's how you pronounce it, posted an update from a player who was robbed during the inventory hack, where basically Bethesda, in the customer support email, got an email saying that they're going to have a clone of your character be restored, and the clone will have all of the stuff, 100% of the stuff that it had on December 20th, 2019, so before it got hacked, and in addition they're providing them with 8,250 atoms, which people in the comments very cleverly worked out was, yeah, divide 8,250 by 5 and you'll get 1,650, exactly the amount a Fallout First member gets per month. So basically you get 5 months of Fallout First atoms as kind of compensation, along with your gear back. So that's their kind of apology, added on to getting the gear back. And there's like a really pure and lovely Reddit comment thing going on here. It's just really nice. So, yeah, that's cool. I know some other people are getting less atoms because they're not Fallout First members, so there's a few differences in the number of atoms, but if you were affected by the hack, make sure you had a ticket, or failing that, if you didn't have a ticket open, start a new ticket with and tell Bethesda, hey, my character lost stuff during the hack, and they should hopefully be able to sort it out for you. Do not expect this to be instantaneous, because I'm sure there's plenty of people they've got to help out, and I feel like they've obviously had to do a fair bit of work on it, so no guarantees that you'll just send the ticket and then the next day everything will be returned. Might have to still wait a little bit just for them to get through the backlog of people they already had tickets with. Anyhow, that is good. It is cool to see that they've been able to sort out a fix for that. Honestly, I figured it would just be a bunch of atoms as compensation, but instead it looks like they're going to be able to restore the gear that the characters previously had, and they'll have a community support agent who will jump in a private server with you to ensure you can trade over all of the gear from your cloned character to the character who got hacked, which is really good of them. They've actually got real people who will be ensuring that you're not relying on like a mate to trade over all your gear. That's awesome. Plus they're giving the atoms as well, which is honestly all I thought would happen, but that's just a bonus on top of it. So that is really good. So, those are the news stories I just wanted to quickly cover. It's good stuff, it's all like good stuff. I hope everyone is currently enjoying their time in Fallout 76. I'm really looking forward to when Wastelanders drops. I'm hoping it's within the next month or two. I don't want it to be too long, because the PTS is up. I know people will break the NDA, I really don't want them to, and I want to go into this without having like tons of huge spoilers. So, everyone, keep to the NDA, but feel free to get excited about the Inside the Vault stuff. I'm going to leave you all for now. As I said earlier, do subscribe if you enjoy this sort of content. Feel free to share the channel if you've got other people you know who enjoy Fallout 76 and are looking for a YouTuber who covers it. I happen to fall into that category. Anyhow, I do want to thank you all very much for watching. Sarge out.